Welcome, everybody. We have some updates galore for you guys. Welcome. Please hit the like button. Hello to some of our members: Anthony M, longtime mod; Papa Chuck; Tony F, Rockport's rights enthusiast; and all the other members that are just now joining us. Jesse. By the way, if you're a member, feel free to check out the community page for member posts and catch up. Guys, I was trying to be subjective when I made the title for this. And when I called it Town Fuhrer spends $200,000 to keep out camera after I was attacked, that is extremely accurate, 100% accurate. Look up the word Fuhrer. It's a tyrannical dictator. And boy, are the updates going to be crazy on this one. So let's just dive right in. Welcome everyone for being here. So if you haven't seen it, I'm going to play a quick intro of the video itself, just so you guys can just, I know you're all up to date with what's going on, but let me just play a quick intro while people file in here, and then we'll give you the update. So many of them. And it gets worse. Like Kim Jong Marconi, Rudy Marconi, the first selectman of Ridgefield, Connecticut. He's making it very hard to stop talking about this. So let's just watch the video. We'll give you a quick update as far as the intro goes, and then we'll go from there. So much information. Hello. How are you?
Filming me?
I'm sorry?
Are you filming me?
Yes.
Shut it off. Please shut it off. I don't want to be filmed.
Shut it off? No, we can't shut it off.
Listen, get out of here. No, I'm not kidding.
There's National Grinch Day. There's National Grinch Day today. Is that to
You know what? Can you please shut that off?
No, it's silly.
What do you mean no? Get out of here. Listen.
Be serious right now. Hello. So they're celebrating National Grinch Day at 4:15 in the town hall steps. Are you the Grinch this
Can you
year?
get out of here now?
Ma'am.
You know what? I'm going to hit the panic button.
You're going to hit the panic button?
Yeah, can you get out? Get out!
Oh, ma'am, it's not going to be good. Don't do that. You're going to look very...
Oh,
all right, ma'am. All right. You're going to have to call someone now. Unfortunately, she's in trouble. If she's willing to apologize, I won't press charges.
Okay, that's very kind of you. I appreciate that.
It's Christmas.
Okay. So the apology's not going to happen. Okay. So,
Steps for...
yeah, so she received a misdemeanor summons, which is basically a court appearance. It's
Okay.
a court ticket. So she'll be going to court to answer for the disorderly conduct charge, which is the charge appropriate in this specific situation. That will be an arraignment date.
Okay, now a lot of you guys are asking me, why wasn't she charged with assault? Why wasn't she charged with simple assault, simple battery? Well, the Connecticut statute is very clear. When you look at disorderly conduct, it quotes violent, threatening, and tumultuous behavior. Okay, so we went over all that. We went over the fact that Kim Jong Marconi, Rudy Marconi, doubled down. He went on many articles. He went on the news. I've most recently been on the radio, and we can play some of that for you here as well. You guys haven't heard that yet, my radio interview. And he's just doubled down. He's like, yeah, no, this poor woman, this guy came in filming, how dare he? And this guy, Accountability for All, made her assault him. Well, there's other things that I've made them do most recently. So let's take a look at some of the things that I've made them do. First of all, guys, just so you know, December 16th, she has court, okay? December 16th, as you can see there, she's charged with 53A-182, disorderly conduct. It's a Class C misdemeanor. The offense date was 12/1/2022. The arrest date was 12/1/2022 because she was arrested, and she was released on her own recognizance with a promise to appear. That's in the Danbury GA3 Superior Court in Danbury, Connecticut. That is most recently updated this morning. Now, one thing I thought was a big update is Patricia's husband, former cop, Got a whole lot of paperwork coming back on that, whole lot of records requests. Now, keep in mind, when you start as a police officer in really any state, normally you'll start as a local police officer in a local town or a local sheriff, and you will ascend to trying to get to, oh, thanks so much, GTA Audits. You'll ascend to becoming a state police officer or a state highway patrol or a state trooper. Patricia's husband, 1986, gets on the Connecticut State Police Force. He lasts 2 years until he goes to, I believe, the Bethel Police Department, very small police department. He's there for 2 years, up and leaves, and then I believe goes to the Easton, Connecticut Police Department. I could be wrong about that last one. Anyways, so there's a lot to be said when guy goes from being the pinnacle of what a police officer aspires to be at the state police level in 86, only lasts 2 years, and then goes on to be a local police officer somewhere else for 2 years, local police officer for somewhere else for 2 years, local police officer somewhere else for 2 years, and then stops being a police officer. He now runs his own protection company, which does private investigations, stuff of that nature. And, when you look at his LinkedIn, it's pretty up to snuff. He's been trained in FBI hostage negotiations, de-escalation tactics. I mean, this guy's, jacket is pretty good. Awful lot of stuff to have accumulated in less than 5 years on the force with less than 18 months at each department. Normally when you see this type of behavior, and I'm not saying that's the case with him, when you have a police officer go from department to department and can't stay somewhere long, that's normally because he was a bit of a problem. And I don't know if that's the case here, but he also runs a Facebook page called Blue Lives Matter. And when you look at his Facebook page, it actually literally says, like, some people like have certain profile quotes. Like, I think mine says, I'd rather die in my feet than live on my knees. His says, if you don't back the blue, unfriend me. Things are starting to add up. So let's go to the first article. Okay, let's go to the first article because it is true. Rudy Marconi, Kim Jong Marconi. Now, you'd think that after there is a First Amendment violation where someone is assaulted, and everyone, please smash that like button. Also, pinned to the top of the chat is our PayPal and our Cash App links. Really appreciate any and all contributions. Just so you know, guys, my plane takes off tomorrow. I'm going across the country, bringing you more content again and again and again for the holidays. So feel free if you guys want to give us a donation. We really appreciate it. Rockport's Rights Enthusiast, thank you so much. So let's go to this first article that we all need to read together and be disgusted by. We really need to be disgusted. So as I've explained to you guys, one person has been subjective on their articles. Only one. The rest of them, not so much. So this is one of the bootlicker articles. Ridgefield to erect wall. Tighten security at public buildings after YouTuber filmed in town hall. No mention like security needs to be updated and training needs to be implemented for staff after an American exhibiting a constitutionally protected activity was assaulted by a city worker. No mention of that. Now, maybe Kim Jong Marconi or Rudy Jong-un needs to contact Donald Trump, and maybe Donald Trump can help him with this wall. This is written by Sandra Diamond Fox. There's the beautiful building that will not be open to the public any longer, for all intents and purposes. After YouTubers made a video of town employees at work last week without their permission, notice how Lamestream says that, without their permission, First Selectman Rudy Marconi Jong-un said he is tightening security at town buildings. One employee was arrested on a misdemeanor charge of disorderly conduct after swatting a folder at a YouTuber during the December 1st incident at the town hall. This should get you guys pissed. Instead of instilling any training or any education to his staff, he spent $200,000 to keep you out of your building. By Monday, partitions will be erected upstairs in the town offices. including the first selectman's office and finance office. Yeah, he wants to separate him from the people. Over the weekend, there will be a wall built there. There will be a doorway with glass. You won't be able to come beyond that point, Marconi said. He said he has received emails from all over the U.S. in reaction to the incident. Oh, thanks so much, guys. Gatto, thank you so much. Danbury, we went there too, by the way, guys. We filmed in the Danbury Town Hall, and not a person was able to make us leave. Welcome, Epic, new member. Back to the article. Both in support of the videographers and against them. Some emails say that employees should be fired, he said. Under the new system, visitors to some offices on the top floor of the town hall will be required to ring a buzzer, wait in a sitting area, and be admitted by an employee on the inside, regardless of whether or not they have an appointment. On December 1st, the YouTubers who recorded this video, typically of public officials in their work settings, and upload them to a YouTube channel called Accountability for All, videotaped a number of employees throughout the town hall. While many of the employees were friendly toward the YouTubers, one of whom is Josh Abrams, accounting employee Patricia Pacheco, 57, said she didn't want to be recorded and told them to stop. When they didn't, she allegedly struck Abrams in the face with a folder, prompting him to file charges. Pacheco was charged with disorderly conduct, a misdemeanor. Abrams said he wouldn't press charges if Pacheco apologized, but the officer told him that she declined to. According to the video, Pacheco was released on a written promise to appear. Additional security measures. Listen to this one, guys. You got to show your Nazi paperwork. The plastic placed in the front entrance of the lower offices, such as the town clerk and assessor's office at Ridgefield Town Hall, at the start of the you-know-what-see, will remain in place. The town had previously been planning to remove them, Marconi said. Marconi said he didn't consult with the town's attorney on the new security measures, but he said no one had a problem when the plastic was originally put up. So this guy didn't even consult with his own attorneys before restricting your rights and building walls. Okay, apparently, I thought they only built walls on the United States border. Apparently, Kim Jong-Marconi is seceding from the rest of the Union. Additionally, many of the offices in the building will be kept locked when previously they were kept open. Town hall employees will have a key to enter their offices. Other buildings in the town where partitions will be constructed include the Ridgefield Town Hall Annex and the Ridgefield Recreation Center. Full construction. At the rec center, there's a front desk on the right, but you can't just walk in, Marconi said. We want to tighten that up a little bit. If you were there on a treadmill, would you want someone walking up and videoing you? Well, this is pretty good. So now Rudy Marconi has decided what you want. He takes it into his own hands. Rudy Marconi, the town administrator, first selectman of Ridgefield, Connecticut, has decided what you want. He's self-admitting to not consulting with the town's attorney whatsoever. This is why this article is called the Fuhrer, because he's a tyrannical dictator doing whatever the fuck he wants, and he's a fuck knuckle for it. But the ACLU, folks, is not unhappy. Dan Barrett, the ACLU Foundation of Connecticut's legal director, said the checkpoint. Listen to that. There's a checkpoint. I want you to think in life when in history there have been checkpoints, and name one where it's been illegal or advantageous to freedom. Checkpoint at the entryway to the Ridgefield town buildings would be the same kind of system found in other government buildings throughout Connecticut, such as courthouses and schools. The town would run afoul of the Constitution if it used that checkpoint to deny access to someone based on a fundamental protected attribute, which is filming, guys, such as race, gender, or national origin, or if the town used it to prevent people from accessing meetings that are supposed to be open to the public, Barrett said. People are allowed to video government actors in situations they may lawfully see. Twyla, thanks so much. Really appreciate that. And I will go over the super chats at the end also. And folks, like I said, appreciate any and all donations. Let us continue. Because we were misusing the First Amendment. We're misusing it. When they were filming the town hall, the videographers abused their First Amendment rights, Marconi said. We abused it. Everyone talks about the First Amendment. So do I. I love it. It's great. That's what makes America, America. People want to come here because of that. but it's not there to allow people to use it to harass, intimidate, and profiteer from, he said. That's why they're doing it. That's a misuse of our First Amendment. No, it's not. The people with their First Amendment right have several privileges. Now, Rudy Marconi is most notably remembered for saying, that's not the First Amendment. That's not the First Amendment. Learn the First Amendment and act accordingly. Okay, well, let me explain something to you. The First Amendment says that the United prevents the government from making laws that regulate an establishment of religion or that prohibit the free exercise of religion or abridge the freedom of speech, the freedom of the press, the freedom of assembly, or the right to petition the government for a redress of grievances. That, folks, was adopted on December 15th, 1791. Okay? Read the First Amendment and acting accordingly, you stupid shit fuck. Are you kidding me? What are we doing in there? You can't establish a law that violates my right to come in. Because your employee acted a fool and physically assaulted me, that's not a misuse of the First Amendment. That's a misuse of your authority. And who's profiteering, Rudy? Because you make $140 grand a year from the city, but you got close to $17 million in net worth assets. My deep dive into you, Rudy, goes through the bottom floor of the fucking ceiling. Rudy is one of the wealthiest people in Connecticut. He makes 60-second decisions to decide that he's going to waste your money to build a fucking crosswalk and then another half-split. This guy was assaulted. Let's build a wall. I mean, Jesus Christ. We're profiteering. Rudy makes more money than anyone in this chat and anyone that's going to watch that video. And that's a fact. Dirty, dirty dog. Let us continue about Kim Jong Marconi. That's why they're doing it. And that's a misuse of our First Amendment. Really? Because when we want to exercise our rights as free Americans in a public place to engage in free press or to redress our government, that is literally the definition of the First Amendment you say that we're violating. Okay? I want to bring something to your attention because clearly your level of education is just non-existent. So let me read you a little something. Reno versus ACLU. He's mentioned most. Welcome, Banana. Welcome. He said that it's because we had cameras. We're not just real press. We have cameras, cell phones. That's unacceptable. Well, Reno versus ACLU permits that phone cameras and social media makes the public fall under the umbrella of media. Upheld. Wolf v. California, i.e. FBI v. Wolf. Anyone who brings news to the public is a journalist. Douche knuckle. Brandsburg v. Hayes states there's no requirement for media credentials. The 1st, 3rd, 5th, 7th, 9th, and 11th circuits of appeal have directly upheld the right to record police and public officials in the course of performing their duties. Shout out to Michael Cummins, by the way, for sending me a real nice email. That literally is what the First Amendment is. John S., thank you so much, brother. You building walls to keep people out of your city? That's anti-First Amendment. That's anti-freedom. That's anti-America. That's why you're a dictator. And that's why my mission is to make sure you don't do another term. You're long done with your term. Because we have a whole nother article to read. Because it seems like not all the other folks that are in Rudy Marconi's position. Oh, thanks so much, Wandering Hippie. Everyone subscribe to Wandering Hippie. He's my partner over here filming this video. Not all the other towns followed suit, or did they? Let's continue finishing this article, then we're going to get into the next one. He said anyone is welcome to the town hall. However, they can't intimidate anyone inside the building. I almost forget that I was the person assaulted, yet she was the one that was intimidated. Keith Taylor, a former law enforcement officer of the New York Police Department, who is now an adjunct assistant professor in the Department of Law, Police Science, and Criminal Justice Administration at John Jay College in Manhattan, agreed with Marconi about the added security measures. Oh, wow, I'm surprised. A cop, one tyrant agreed with another. I mean, not for nothing, but Hitler worked with a couple of other dictators. You know, dictators can find a way to make it work. Let's see if there's any more to this article. If the rules are lax, then these individuals will be able to take advantage of that, park themselves inside the location, and basically state, it's our constitutional right to stay here and do this. You can't do anything about that, he said. So some places will place limitations on videotaping within that location. Are you kidding me? Are you guys actually reading that? Let's go over that paragraph one more time from Marconi, the epitaph of freedom. If the rules are lax, then these individuals will be able to take advantage of that, park themselves inside a location, and basically say, it's our constitutional right to stay here and do this. You can't do anything about that, he said. So some places will place limitations on videotaping within that location. So basically, this first selectman is saying, you guys just want to come in here and use your freedoms? Well, nana poo-poo. You can't do that. We're not going to let you. The videographer's behavior in the case of Pacheco's arrest is disruptive, Marconi said. Look at that sentence. This is why this guy is like America's top fuck knuckle. Okay, for real. The videographer's behavior in the case of Pacheco's arrest is disruptive. Are you following along with this? My behavior was disruptive during her arrest. Like, this guy's really stretching this shit. He's really stretching this shit. My behavior was, she was the one getting arrested, you moron. Are you kidding me? Like, some of this shit, like, you can't even believe it until these moron politicians say it. If you're talking about a reasonable standard of behavior, having an individual standing there simply for the purpose of video recording while you're working can be considered disruptive. So look at this. Kim Jong Marconi, Rudy Marconi, the first selectman of Ridgefield, Connecticut, has literally redefined the United States Constitution. And I'm not like, this is his quote. Okay? His direct quote. If you're talking about a reasonable standard of behavior, having an individual standing there simply for the purpose of video recording while you're working can be considered disruptive. So you, sitting at home, I'm talking to you, okay? I'm talking to you. If you walk into his building, a public building that your tax dollars pay for, and you pull out a video camera, you're disruptive. Congress shall pass no law that abridges the Constitution. The Supreme Court can't do it. Congress can't do it. The Senate can't do it. The House of Representatives can't do it. The president can't do it. But fuck-knuckle Marconi can absolutely do it. Oh, man. So anyways, we can continue with this article, but as you can guess, is that, you know, he's just going to continue he doesn't want, Marconi said he doesn't want Pacheco to be forced to apologize to the videographer. There's nothing to apologize for, he said. They come in, provoke, and harass someone, and then that person has to apologize for what they did. Let's break this down, folks. Let's make it simple, since Marconi loves the police. He doesn't love the Ridgefield police. He hates them. Because he said the arrest was uncalled for, he feels bad for it. So Marconi doesn't like the Ridgefield police because they did their job. So I guess the Ridgefield police, he's not licking your boots. Your boots are very dirty. You upheld the Constitution, so your boots can no longer be licked or deep-throated by Marconi. However, all other police departments in the United States of America. So, for example, if I walked up to, let's choose someone at random, Anthony M. And Anthony M had his firearm with him, and I walked up to Anthony M and I said, "Nana, nana, nana, you're really ugly. Look at Anthony M. Anthony M has a mangina. You piece of shit, Anthony M." And then Anthony M, 50 yards away, took out an AR-15 and mowed me down, just took my life. There would be consequences for me. I mean, and I would be lucky to get out of that with an apology, right? Because I broke the law. I did something wrong. There should be consequences. Well, that's the complete opposite of what Marconi is saying. He's saying there's not, in regards to an illegal act, to an assault, there's nothing to apologize for. They come in, provoke and harass someone, and then that person has to apologize for what they did? Yes, Anthony M. would have to face the fucking music for shooting me because he attacked me because I did something he didn't like. But then again, in the totalitarian Fuhrer's world of fuck knuckle, the law doesn't really make sense when it applies to him. So, that's not it. But that ain't all. Connecticut has to brace for impact. By the way, folks, like I said, if you do want to help out, really appreciate it. Pinned to the top of the chat is the PayPal and the Cash App link. Any donations are appreciated, not required, and super chats as well are just awesome. So let's go here. Now, this is written by the reporter that we like, okay? Kendra Baker from the Ridgefield Press and the CT Insider. She's the only reporter to report, because the way that they were pushing this thing, folks, is Rudy Kim Jong Marconi called all the media stations and said, this is what these guys did. First of all, I didn't call the police. She hit the panic button. The other guy called. I didn't demand she be charged. I gave her an out. She didn't want to take it. Okay? No one wanted to report what actually happened. Kendra Baker did. So this is her follow-up article about how Connecticut braces for impact. Connecticut braces. Towns brace for YouTube First Amendment auditors after Ridgefield employee's arrest. By the way, she's the only person that showed this woman's face. Okay, like my face is shown everywhere, but the person assaulting shouldn't. Let's all feel bad for an out of sorts government tard. After a Ridgefield town employee was arrested after allegedly swatting a file folder at a YouTuber who was filming her, has prompted some area towns to take action to prevent similar situations. Ridgefield is erecting partitions in some town offices, implementing a buzzer system. Hold on one second. Heather Holt, if you're watching, I need to get that link from you. I know you have it. Let me pull it up. By the way, because we're going to listen to the radio interview right after this, and you guys are the bestesses. Okay. I got it. Never mind, Heather. Ridgefield is erecting partitions in some town offices, implementing a buzzer system for visitors to parts of the town hall, and locking many offices in the building that were previously kept open. Other towns, however, are focusing on educating their municipal staff on what to do if someone visits their office with a camera. The aim appears to be to support First Amendment rights while ensuring that interactions between the community and municipal staff remain respectful. I never thought that I'd read something from Lamestream or Mainstream and actually say, holy shit, this person can report. Kendra Baker from the Ridgefield Press, CT Insider, reports, and she reports unbiasedly. And that's why these bootlickers are hating on her. Basically, people are allowed to come into public areas and video, but they can't harass us, said Rich Straighton, acting first selectman in Bethel, who convened a seminar with a police lieutenant for his employees after the December 1st arrest of Patricia Pacheco, a longtime Ridgefield Town Hall employee. Pacheco, 57, was charged with disorderly conduct and arrested after she got upset that YouTuber Josh Abrams was filming her and swatted a folder at him. Abrams, who is from Massachusetts, considers himself a First Amendment auditor, part of the growing trend of activists who visit public places across the country to see whether officials abide by the freedom of the press and constitutional rights. His interactions with public officials are then uploaded to his YouTube channel, Accountability for All. Pacheco, who could not be reached for comment, is scheduled to be arraigned in court December 16th. She was placed on administrative leave after the incident. First Selectman Rudy Kim Jong Marconi said she's worked for the town for 30 years. It's not unusual for First Amendment audits to lead to arrests or legal liability for both the auditor and those who were audited. For example, and then it talks about Long Island. Let's go down a little bit. Abrams conducted a First Amendment audit inside Ridgefield's municipal building. I don't want to read the same thing all over again. Abrams said his goal isn't to upset or demean people, but to educate them on the rights they have as Americans. I'm just kind of going through the parts we have already read. In doing these kind of audits across the country, Abrams said he has found that many people don't know what they are legally allowed to do in public places. Abrams' YouTube channel has 101,000 subscribers, and his video from Ridgefield reached 116,000 views in its first week. His most popular video from October 2019 has nearly 813,000 views. That's incorrect. My largest video has 1.8 million views. How local towns responded. Danbury, let's go down a little bit more. We do training through onboarding and periodic sensitivity training with our town halls, the city spokesman said. During the recent seminar in Bethel, Lieutenant Bob Durkin gave a rundown of the issues and provided information for department heads to relay to those in their departments, said Straighten, acting first selectman of Bethel. Visitors may come to the town hall, but they must stay in public areas, he said. A lot of our officers have counters, so they have to stay behind the counters. They can't go into someone's private office. Even if they don't want to be on camera, Straighten said Bethel's town employees are told to be courteous to everyone, and it's up to them if they want to answer questions from a YouTuber. Brookfield First Select Woman Tara Carr said the town's human resources director sent out a note 2 months ago reminding town employees how to handle situations such as the one that occurred in Ridgefield last week. That message reminded us to maintain our composure, remain calm, professional, and not to be confrontational. So what Brookfield, Connecticut Select Woman Tara Carr is saying, she watched the video. She watched how Rudy Marconi acted. She watched how Pacheco acted, and she said, this message reminded us to maintain our composure, remain calm and professional, and to not be confrontational. So what she's saying to the news is, we watched the Ridgefield video, and, we learned that just to not do what they did. After Ridgefield's incident, Carr said she plans to remind Brookfield town employees about this again, even though she's already confident in their professionalism. I don't have any concerns about any of our employees treating anyone who comes to the town hall uncivilly or anything. There's a lot to be said in how politicians say things. Just imagine there's like them at the end of this. So let's try again. I don't have any concerns about any of our employees treating anyone who comes to town hall uncivilly or anything like them. That's exactly what they're saying. So all 1,006 people here, really appreciate it. Now I'm going to bring something up really interesting. Let me pull this up for you guys. I believe that most of you have probably not heard this yet. So let me pull it for you. Just got it again. Awesome. Give me 1 second, guys, because this you are going to want to hear, and you have not heard it yet. If this wants to upload. Let's try it this way. Heather, can you email me that unlisted link, please? Actually, you know what? I can do that too. Copy. I'm going to email it to myself. Hold on 1 second, guys. I'm going to make this super easy. All right, give me 1 second. This is a 15-minute interview with Melissa in the Morning in 600 AM. They also have an FM channel. And I knew before this was going to happen that they were going to try and, she was going to try and attack me. She was going to try and bury me. So let's open this up here. Okay. Guys, here we go. I'm going to play this quick radio interview for you. And you can see how they tried to, it wasn't really about me or this woman attacking or this stupid first selectman. It was all about this poor lady and how the government should trump everything you do. So let's take a listen to this. It's about 15 minutes long. And this comes from Heather Holt. She hasn't released it publicly, but I think that, Heather, go ahead. Why don't you go ahead and release it if you want, and we'll just send everyone over here to get the views. This is from our friend Heather Holt, 912 subscribers. And everyone here, we can get her over 1K, no problem. Interview on Melissa in the Morning.
and I've played it for you here on the air, and I just want to recap it for you at some point during this segment. But I want to first introduce you to the creator of Accountability for All, the owner and operator of this channel, which has, by the way, over 100,000 subscribers to it. Josh Abrams is here this morning. Good morning, Josh. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Melissa. Thanks for having me.
So first of all, Josh, before we get into this scenario really quickly, I want to learn a little bit more about Accountability for All. How long have you had it?
My channel's been up for just over 3 years now.
What made you want to start? First of all, what is Accountability for All if people are not familiar with your channel?
So my channel is civil rights activism, government oversight, for all intents and purposes, what most people consider First Amendment auditing. To keep it simple, we make sure that we stress test the Constitution, we observe our rights and practice them, and we go into public places, sometimes police stations, town halls, or other public venues, and we just as professionally as possible exhibit our right to record in those places. I also cover some other public interest stories involving police violence, etc.
What made you want to do this? Like, what made you want to start this 3 years ago?
You know, life hasn't always been great. I'm blessed now to have a wonderful job, and I'm able to provide for myself. But several years ago, I was addicted to drugs, and I had quite a few criminal issues myself, and I wanted to be able to change my life, and I wanted to be able to do it in a way that was positive for myself and positive for my family. And it just so happened I was standing on the side of a road, and a police officer did something illegal, and I pulled my camera out. I started recording, and little did I know the video would go viral. And since then, I've worked no other job. I do this, and I own my own company.
So I want to understand how Ridgefield came on your radar. I can't help but notice that you have a Massachusetts phone number. How did you land in Ridgefield, Connecticut?
So sometimes when we choose the places that we go because there's existing stories. Sometimes we go randomly. And sometimes, as in this case, subscribers reach out to us. We were in the Connecticut area, and a subscriber living out of Ridgefield told us that something was going on in the news media. Didn't have much more information besides that. So we decided to go. And when we got there, of course, we found out that there was a Grinch Day proclamation coming. So we were already kind of in the area, and we decided, since we were, that we would respond to that subscriber's request.
What is a Grinch Day proclamation? I don't know what that is.
You know, we didn't get that far, Melissa. We were trying to figure just that out. And after we were walking around the town hall, we were doing some Christmas carols with the employees. But before we were able to find out exactly what a Grinch Day or an annual Grinch Day proclamation was, we ran into this issue. I think we found the Grinch, but not necessarily what the proclamation was.
But I guess, so you had somebody, I just want to make sure I've got this correct. You had somebody who's living in Ridgefield just reach out to you and say, hey, we're concerned about something going on, or there's something shady. Like, can you give us obviously you don't want to give the person's name or anything, which is fine. That's perfectly fine. But can you give us a little more context? Like, why go into the town hall in Ridgefield and just start recording? Like, what were you looking for?
So there was nothing shady that was alleged in this email. We get emails from people all over the country. As I've traveled most of the country conducting First Amendment audits, and they just said, hey, I noticed that you've been in Connecticut the past couple of days. If you're in Ridgefield, they're doing some Grinch Day thing. It might be some good, news media thing. Turned out to be the Grinch Day. And if you want to swing by, go ahead. And we just figured we'd stop by. Our reason for going into the town hall and filming is the same as going into any other government building and filming. You know, we have the right to do so. They're your rights. If you don't use them, you lose them.
Okay, so we're talking this morning to Josh Abrams, who is the owner and operator of Accountability for All, which is a YouTube channel. It has over 100,000 subscribers. So I would say you seem pretty successful in the 3 years that you've had this channel. I mean, and you don't have to disclose how much money you make off of it, but you said you live pretty comfortably, Josh. You said that you're doing well since making this channel.
I do, yeah. I do very well, and it's been successful, of course, not without its hardships, but we've been doing very well.
So, Josh, I'm going to play a snippet of this video right after we check on traffic and weather. It's 8:16. I'm going to play the video for people who have not seen it. I have played it on our show a couple of times already, and we're going to talk a little bit more about it if you don't mind just staying on the line. Josh Abrams is here, again, owner and operator of Accountability for All, and this is connected to the story out of Ridgefield. We told you about this earlier this week. A town employee now out of a job and facing a criminal charge after she hit. It was you, Josh, right? Was it you who got hit, or was it your side person that was working with you?
Yes, ma'am, it was me.
It was you. Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit more about this on the other side of this break coming up on WICC.
WICC Right Now Traffic.
Still have an accident
This morning with Josh Abrams, owner and operator of Accountability for All. And this was part of a story we told you about earlier this week in Ridgefield, where Josh went in with his camera rolling, which is legal, into the town hall in Ridgefield. And he came across a worker there, and she was not interested in being videotaped. In fact, Josh sent me the link to the video. And so I'm going to play it for you here, and then we'll talk a little bit more with Josh on the other side of this. Take a listen.
Hello.
Hi,
How are
are you
you?
filming me?
I'm
Are
sorry?
you filming me?
Yes.
Shut it off. Please shut it off. I don't want to be filmed.
Shut it off. No, we can't shut it off.
Listen, get out of here. No, I'm not kidding.
There's National Grinch Day. There's National Grinch Day today. Is that just
You know what? Can you please shut that off?
No, it's silly.
What do you mean no? Get out of here. Listen.
Be serious right now.
How are you?
Hello.
Yeah.
So they're celebrating National Grinch Day at 4:15 in the town hall steps. Are you the
Can
Grinch
you
this
get out of here now? You know
Ma'am,
what? I'm going to hit the panic button.
you're going to hit the panic button?
Yeah, can you get out? Get out.
Great.
Oh, ma'am, it's not going to be good. Don't do that. You're going to look very...
Oh!
All right, ma'am. All right. You're going to have to call someone now. Unfortunately, she's in trouble.
So again, this is just a snippet of the video, which is over 44 minutes long. Josh, do you typically go into people's offices and not say, you know, hey, I'm with Accountability for All. This is why I'm here. I noticed there was no introduction. You just kind of walked into her office.
Well, yeah, so we didn't actually go into the office.
Now, guys, just like I called it the night before, this question is where I knew, and this is probably what she was saying to herself, like from that song or whatever it is, that TikTok thing. This is the moment she knew she fucked up. Because I knew it was going to go sideways. I knew she was going to turn it and spin it. So the interview, the meat and potatoes, it really comes now. So enjoy the rest of it.
Office. We were just standing in the hallway. We never actually entered the office. But the purpose of what we're doing is for people to respect our rights, right? Like when we go into any public venue, no, I'm not talking about people's, actual business. Like, for example, they work at a hairdresser, private businesses. We're more interested in educating government employees. And if I'm to walk into a business and, just walk into a public place and just say, hey, my name's Josh. I'm Accountability for All. This is a First Amendment audit. It kind of defeats the purpose of going in to see if they will respect our rights. We just want to go in, be left alone, enjoy our experience, record our interactions, and then leave.
What if she was talking about something that was personal to her, though? And I'm trying to play devil's advocate here. What if...
Listen to the tone in which she says it. What if she was in the office talking about something that was personal to her, though? I'm just playing devil's advocate. No, you're not. You're saying that you're playing devil's advocate so you can seem somewhat unbiased to the shit ton of listeners that belong to me that went to go see you. Okay, that's what you're doing here, which is fine. But you can't play fuck with the king of fuck. And everyone knows if we go in someplace and someone's on the phone, we just move on and circle back. But let's see how she plays it.
if she was talking about a cancer diagnosis in the family or something, and you're just rolling on her personal conversations, but she hadn't told her employer yet? You know, I understand what you're saying, that you don't want to give your cover away, right? You don't want to blow it because then people will change. And look, I've worked in media for over a decade. I get it. I get if you tell people who you are right away that they're going to change their tune. They're going to change what they say. They might even lie to your face. I get it. I totally get it. I get that politics do it. I get that reporters do it. But what if she was doing something that was personal to her, and even though you didn't enter the office, you were there, you were able to audibly hear her? What if you had captured something that even her own employer didn't know about?
That's a good question, and in fact, I believe it happened earlier in that video. When we go into these offices or hallways, first.
And here's where you realize that she didn't watch the video, because in that actual video, we went to speak to someone that was actually on the phone. And we just said, all right, well, you're on the phone. We'll come back later. Bottom line, you want privacy, create it. If the door's open, the door's open. And this is really not my fault. This is Kim Jong Marconi's fault, because he installed a half door. Literally, there only is a half door. So even if the door closes, I can just still stand there as long as I'm more than 4 foot tall.
Firstly, if we notice someone's on the phone, the first thing we do, and this is, regular through all of my videos, is we turn about face and leave, and we can always visit the office afterwards. Normally, if the employee is speaking with somebody else and having a conversation, I take that to be privacy, right? Because one of the things that we say is if you want privacy, you need to create it. So if a door is closed or people are having a private conversation, we leave. If someone's engaged in a conversation where they seem upset or it seems otherwise personal, we don't stick around. We can always revisit it later. At the end of the day, we're still human beings. And if our purpose is to try and educate, then, we have to have some humanity to us, and this is a somewhat taboo subject. The government is ever changing and ever evolving, and people don't really understand cameras, right? The founding fathers, I don't ever think intended that someone could pull out a cell phone and start filming someone. So as the times change, so does the message. And we want to make sure that we can, stay up to date and educate people as best as possible. And that's not really feasible if, we have no humanity and we're just invading people's most personal and private moments. So if that was the case, as it has been in the past, then we would just move on and come back later if we need to. Even if people when we go to these town halls, a lot of times we'll go to a town clerk's office and someone is exchanging personal information, or they're at the accounting desk and they're trying to pay a bill. We don't want their personal information. If I'm paying a bill, I don't want people to have access to my personal information. So you'll see that we'll just leave. We won't necessarily follow through. So we're not there to try and invade on people's personal information or etc.
I mean, this woman was visibly upset, though. I mean, she clearly did not want to be on camera. She felt ambushed. If I were to make an assessment of what I was looking at, she felt ambushed. She was upset to the point that she'd push a panic button. And I don't know if you know this, but it wasn't that long ago, that it wasn't in Connecticut, but it was in another state, that an entire town hall was shot up by somebody who just...
And there it is. She was ambushed. She didn't get hit in the face. I did. But then again, leave it to lamestream media to victim shame when it works to them, and then try and redirect it to, well, you were filming in a town hall. It wasn't too long ago. Something happened at some other place that's totally non-related to this incident. Killer job.
Came in because they have the right to do that. You felt it was appropriate to call her silly, to laugh, to call her the Grinch. You felt like that was the best approach to get information out there to your viewers?
Well, I mean,
let's focus on this, folks. It's not appropriate that I called her silly. It's not appropriate that I laughed at her. What is appropriate is that she hit me in the face for exercising a constitutional right. You literally can't make this shit up. You know what I mean? This is on an AM radio and a nationally syndicated FM station. So like the Bull, it's in every single city. The FM station that they have is nationally syndicated radio. So this played everywhere.
Watch videos that are done and by other people. Yeah, there's a lot of different tactics: screaming, yelling, calling names. I kind of chuckle it off and say, oh, it's being silly, because it's an attempt to de-escalate the situation at the same time while maintaining my rights. There's a saying out there that your feelings don't trump my rights. And we get into a dangerous line where, well, she's upset, and now I have to give up my rights to appease her because she's upset. Notice once during that video, she said a couple times, she said, oh, please stop. But this is someone that represents a city in an official capacity. At no time did she say, could you explain to me your purpose here? I don't appreciate being on film. I know you can film me. Why are you here filming me? That never came across her lips.
That's true. That's true. I don't know if protocols are in place like that. You're right. That's true. She never did ask you who you were. The thing I want to know from you, Josh, is what was your end game here? What was the end goal? Because you have a woman now who, and again, I'm just giving you the facts that I know from this situation, from this report. You have a woman now who had worked for the town for over 30 years, who has a clean record, who is probably going to be out of a job now. She now faces legal trouble. We know that her husband has now been threatened at his job. Her address.
And let me take this moment to do a friendly reminder. Although she is probably ranked within the top 10 Karens of all Christendom, leave the woman alone. You know what I mean? There's no need to be doxing her or emailing her or posting her address or contacting her ex-cop husband. There's no need for it. You know what I mean? It makes sense. What's up, CT3? There's enough trouble in the world. Like, let's look at this. She's assaulted someone. She hit the panic button. When she hit that panic button, she thought like men like her husband were going to show up and whisk us away for engaging in a free press. That's not what happened. She got arrested because you can't just hit people because you feel like it. And now she's saying, well, she had all these she's going to lose her job. She's going to lose her benefits. Thank you so much, Tracy. Really appreciate that. She's going to lose her job. She's going to lose her benefits. She's going to have legal troubles. I can't change what she wanted. That's like her going into the hairdresser, dyeing her hair Barney Ballsack purple, and then showing up to work, and then this radio personality being like, Josh, now she's going to get made fun of for having ugly hair. Her hair is going to be purple. She's going to walk around looking like an upside-down eggplant. Like, how does that make you feel? How does that make me feel? You can't hold me responsible for her choices. She wouldn't have to have an issue with her job, be fired, have legal troubles, have any of these things. I gave her a chance to apologize 4 different times. Not only did I give her the chance to apologize on air, I gave her the chance to apologize off record, off camera. That's it. She didn't want to do that. So she made a conscious choice to now deal with the consequences of those actions. I guarantee you one thing. She wouldn't be accepting an apology from me or dropping any charges against me had I been the one that had attacked her, which I wasn't, because then again, the government did something wrong and the people holding the government accountable did the right thing. But let's continue.
Is now out there publicly that people are threatening them. What was the end goal here? Was it worth it? Did you gain anything?
Firstly, if any of my viewers are listening, which I'm sure they are, and I reiterate this in my videos and my live stream updates, is that the people that you're seeing in the video, whether you approve or disapprove of their behavior, they're still human. We don't want anyone to be reaching out to these people personally or otherwise, threatening them. I actually saw a video online where someone was showing this woman's house, and I actually contacted the Ridgefield police and spoke to a sergeant and made them aware of that video. We don't want anyone to be personally contacting these people, but it's also akin to I believe this young lady's ego and her choices, because we didn't want to pursue charges. I didn't want her to lose her job. I didn't want her to, have to go to court and face, these different issues. I believe that at the end of the day, as a government employee, and even as just an adult person, it's understandable that you can't just get up and hit someone because you don't like what they do. And the purpose is always foremost education. So on four different separate times throughout the shooting of this video, we offered the opportunity to apologize and forego charges. This young lady didn't want to apologize. Even after the video was over, excuse me, I contacted the police.
And I heard you say that in the video.
Know.
Yes, you did say to the police, I will not drop it if she apologizes. Yes, I did hear you say that.
I said, listen, this doesn't have to be a media thing either. I'll accept an apology off camera. I'll stop rolling right now. I called the courts and the police station after the video was rolling, and I put the same offer out there. I'm willing to drop this thing. I just want an apology, because you can't just hit people because you don't like what they're doing, especially when they're conducting a constitutionally protected activity. This could be a different conversation if I was assaulted because I had a cross in my hand and not a camera. You know, there are many components to the First Amendment, but you can't use violence to try and, restrain someone's free speech.
I have one more question for you, Josh, and then I have to let you go. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. How much money will you make off of that video? Are your subscribers the ones paying your bills?
No, YouTube pays. A lot of different calculations go into it. How many subscribers you have, how many views you have on the video. You get paid based on the ads. Of course, subscribers have
And that's what it comes down to, isn't it? All these people that say we make money off donos. You have any idea how long it takes to get to a point where you can even get paid on YouTube, let alone sustain a living? And the living that we're sustaining is recycled back into activism. For example, I get up at the ball sack of breakfast tomorrow to get on a plane. AFA wakes up at the ball sack of breakfast. He hits his snooze on his alarm clock once. He hits his snooze on his alarm clock twice. He hits his snooze on his alarm clock 3 times. I'm late. He gets into the Uber or the Lyft. Thanks, YouTube turns. He hops into the Uber or the Lyft. He goes all the way to Logan Airport. He gets out of the Lyft or the Uber. He gets on a cab. He goes through security checkpoint. He gets cavity searched. Maybe another day. He goes through without a cavity search. He gets on the plane. He watches in-flight entertainment. He lands, and he's back at it again. That's where this money goes. You know what I mean? Like, I don't live a lavish lifestyle. I'm not driving a Rover. I don't have Gucci. You know what I mean? Like, I make money just like she does. Now, so she's covering the story. How much does she make? How much money did she make off my story or my interview? They love to take questions and only frame it one way. Okay? So, and she was expecting me when she asked this question to be like, it's none of your business. But then again, AFA is better at radio than the radio people. But let's finish it up.
Multiple different options. They can do things like super chats and super thanks and stuff like that.
By the way, it's very clear that they hate the fact that you guys send any money at all. So feel free, go ahead, super chat in the comment sections if you'd like, because it would make people very, very upset. Also, shout out to Jason for the PayPal, thank you. And Jairus, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Those two are for you, Melissa.
But it's YouTube that pays the bill, and how much that video will make, YouTube pays once a month. That would be determined at the end of next month.
Okay. Well, could you let me know when you get that bill? Would you mind?
You know what? You can actually see yourself, because as a YouTube partner, all of our earnings are posted online. So it sometimes is not quite accurate, but if you go on a website called socialblade.com, it'll show you within 70% accuracy up to people's daily subscribers, what they're making per day. It's not an exact science, but because it's a publicly traded company, YouTube does share this information.
Got it. Okay, well, I'll be sure to follow up. Josh, I really appreciate you coming on this morning, owner and operator of Accountability for All. Thank you for telling us what happened. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me, Melissa.
Thank you. Let's go to traffic and weather. We've got more news for
Oh, Jody, thank you so much. So there you have it, folks. And by the way, Another big update is going to come Monday. You guys are going to be disgusted. Regan Benson, thank you so much. You are a WICC hero. Thank you. Thank you. And by the way, if everyone hasn't already, I got to tell you a couple things. First, let us both, Glow with Glow, thank you so much. And welcome Matthew King to AFA Bronze, brother. Appreciate it. There's a couple things before we go. Nightcrawler Media, she says she's very, very interested in your money. Typical woman. A couple things I wanted to go over. Firstly, if you want to watch this, it was just dropped right now and made public by Heather Holt. She's a mod. She can drop her link in chat. This is it right there. There's only 8 views 2 days ago because it was unlisted. At Accountability for All, Josh Abrams' interview with Melissa in the morning on WICC Morning Show. Should you like to go by and by the way, to record this, she was up at the same time as me, which I think was like 6 o'clock her time. Welcome, keeper of the list to AFA Bronze. She was up at the ass crack of dawn, the butt crack of Barney to get this done for us. Thank you so much, Banana Rana. Shout out to her. That was awesome for her to do that. But let's make sure we head over to Heather Holt's channel, drop a subscription for her, get over 1,000, because we've done a lot of stories together. And there's some stories that are really, really big, and I'm not so good at the investigative journalism stuff. I'll send her way. That's firstly, while you're here. Secondly, AFA has got a new camera set up, a new camera rig, okay? So if you go to my backup channel, the AFA crew that you see on screen right now. Oh, Papa Chuck, thank you so much. The radio interviewer has my flicking bud boiling with a lousy oxygen stealer. Yeah. So this is my backup channel, guys. How it's going to work is when I'm out filming, I'm going to have one phone, and it's a rig with 2 mounts, right? So one phone's going to be here recording static while on my main channel, which you guys won't see. And then my my AFA crew channel is going to be on the phone below, and that's going to be streaming live. So almost on most of my audits, at least 3 every single day, the video that you're going to be seeing on my main channel, Accountability for All, is going to be streamed live from the AFA crew. The only lives you're going to see on my main channel here are going to be the updates like we're doing right now. Besides that, all the live streams, the audits, everything else is going to be there. So if you're here and you're not subscribed to the AFA crew, I suggest you do it. A lot of interesting stuff, some big videos over there, a couple videos on my backup channel, over 1 million views. We've been blessed because we have folks like you watching. And also, I'm going to be in No, I'm not going to say where I'm going to be. I almost told you. Now you can probably guess. I might as well just tell you. I'm going to be in California. You guys want to help out with flights and expenses? Really appreciate it. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. You can make donations through PayPal or Cash App or Super Chats. Really appreciate everything. But this is Banana Rana. She doesn't have much to go to get over 5,000. She's doing an thanks 702 for that PayPal. She's doing an absolutely great job, and she goes live a lot. So the next 2 weeks that I'm going to be in California, if you want to see anything and you don't want to have to wait for my fat, lazy ass to upload them onto YouTube after I have to edit them and do all that silly nonsense, then you can literally go to Banana Rana, subscribe right now, because she's going to be with me. She's got killer content. She's doing great stuff. So make sure that you do that. Go over there, subscribe. Don't forget, that's the reason I stopped today. We'll catch you on the next one. Later, y'all.